Hello everyone, this is Eric Woods with his second video. Why am I talking about myself in the third person? Anyway, this is Eric Woods with my next video. What you see before you now is the Samsung NX30, which I'll mention it later. Once I got a real flash, I found out this needed to go back for repairs. Short story, they did a great job. I called them on a Friday afternoon after work hours. They sent me a UPS label, shipped it off, and about a week later I got the camera back. They replaced the entire top, completely refurbished it, did everything it needed to be done, and it worked flawlessly. I have to say, kudos to them and their support. Things go wrong with anything. I've had a number of camera items have issues over time, but I have to say Samsung did a really good job with that. But in any event, it's back now. Right now I have the 45mm f1.8. This is the 2D 3D model. Bought by itself, I probably would have went for the non-2D 3D one, but this one came as in an excellent kit with my NX300. At the time it was available for $499. Once again, this lens is about, I believe, $349, so that makes for the way I looked at it, I got a mirrorless camera for about 140 bucks, 150 bucks. But in any event, that's not what this is about. Used this camera a few weeks ago, got called last minute on a Saturday for a Sunday photo shoot, family shoot for a family, good friends of mine, and they asked me to come out, and I did not have a real flash. Fortunately, where they brought me to, there's a lot of natural available light. It was a bright day that day. They had a lot of windows, so I was able to open it up, but it made me realize I needed two things. This 45 f1.8 did an admirable job. It did an admirable job as a stand-in for a portrait lens, but it's not really the best tool for that purpose. And built-in flash, nice to have in a pinch, but again, not the best tool for that purpose. So that photo job, ironically, cost me more money than it made me. Because the next thing I went out, or I wanted to get, was a good portrait lens. I was looking at a few other zoom lenses, maybe I believe it's the 12 to 24 wide angle zoom. I was looking at possibly even saving my coins and getting the 2 to 2.8, I believe it's 16 to 50 or 18 to 50 lens. I think it's 16 to 50 millimeter. I was looking at that, getting that next, but that photo shoot made me realize that I really wanted a real portrait lens. As I mentioned in a blog post that I will put in the comment section or a details section, description section, whichever it's called, the Samsung unit is about $799. You can find them for $763 right now. Sounds like a lot of money, is a lot of money, but when compared to the competition, like just for reference sake, excellent lens by Nikon, I believe their 85 f1.4 goes for about $1,599. Aftermarket one runs in the neighborhood of $969. So a factory unit, 85mm f1.4 for $763 is a pretty good deal by my estimation. And I have to say I've been very pleased with it. Let's get on with it. Here is, of course, the camera. I'm not going to do an unboxing because, let's be real, I unboxed the thing once again. Like I said last time, I unboxed it as soon as I got it. This is the box it came in. Very nice box. Everyone wants to see the box. There's the box. All right, cool. Now we got that out of the way. Here is what it came with. Now, this is my first, I guess you could say, high-end purchase of a lens for Samsung. This is a very nice bag it came with, quite plush looking. I'm quite sure it's pleather, just by the feel, but a very nice pleather. Has a nice padded base. If you see from here to here, is simply padding, little blue piping around the bottom, makes it a little fancy. And let's take a look at the lens. Lens itself is very nice, very solid piece. I've nicknamed it Brick, blunt instrument, but in all seriousness, very nice, very solid feeling lens. And I mean, there's a reason for the weight. You know, I'm just going to put the hood aside. I'm not really a big hood person. Plus, I'll show it on the camera, but it really even makes a large lens even that much larger looking. And take this front, and that's what I wanted, if I'm completely honest. I was nerding out on this as soon as I got it, this front element. And then when we open it up, you can see, I don't know if I can get the angle right, but it's quite nifty, quite a nice lens. Just to walk around the lens, you have your distance meter right here. I'm sure I'm butchering the terminology. I honestly don't use these. Wasn't really around for the rangefinder era. Don't really use this. I'm sure this is quite handy for someone, but it's not something I make a great amount of use of, just being honest. Around here we have the eye function button, which is nice when I do remember it has it. It's very nice to have, but again, I have a problem with remembering that it's even on there. But when I do use it, it's very nice to be able to look through the lens, look through the electronic viewfinder and be able to change all the settings without having to take my eye off the subject. And with this is nice, because for the other lenses I have that do have an eye function button, like the 45mm, like the 18-55, like the fisheye lens, they do have an eye function button on those, but you have to have a dual purpose focus ring. Here they put a dedicated rubber grip ring strictly for eye function. And then you have a very nice, very wide, dedicated focus ring. Front element. Side buttons, eye function. Not only that, we have the auto focus, manual focus with manual focus override, which is nice. And there's a nice feel to it. Some of my lenses on all of the systems I've had, where it's electronic, drive-by-wire, there was a very disconnected feel. This one here, very nice feel to the focus movement. Has just enough resistance to give a really nice controlled feel to it. Now, let's get on to getting it on the camera. Let's see here. Take this off here. Again, there you have it. Very nice, neat, tidy package. Very nice setup. Very comfortable. Of course, with mirrorless cameras, one of the things is, the good thing about them is their size and how light they are, but it can feel a little awkward. This one, I have to say, I've read reviews about the NX10 and NX20, which didn't have as deep a grip. I can imagine that might be a problem, but even honestly with the NX300, which I thought was going to be laughable with this, I would show you, but that's what I'm actually filming this with. The NX300 actually felt very good with this lens on it. Of course, I have to hold it by the lens, otherwise it feels like the camera is kind of a lens cap on the back of the lens. But again, and that's one of the things I love about the system, this works perfectly well with the NX300 as well as the NX300, the NX30. That way, say if I'm just carrying the NX300 with me, I can just throw this in the bag, in any bag I have, and have this available, which I did just the other day. But once again, nice package, very nice, very impressed, great shots. I will be, oh, let me show you the lens hood. Below, that is borderline comical. Very nice. I'm sure it's useful, but I just prefer not to bring it. Makes a large lens even that much more large. But it's nice to have. I'm glad they threw it in free, because I've had a few lenses from Olympus where they did not come with lens hood, so it's nice that they did include a lens hood. About every lens I've purchased, I believe, besides maybe I believe the 30mm, I believe every lens I've had so far has come with a lens hood from Samsung. But that's about it. I'm going to put in a description down below. I'm going to put links to an overview I did of this lens with a small set of pictures, but I'm also going to put a link to my Flickr page that has a gallery of all the photos I've taken with this lens so far. That's about it. A few notes about this lens. I have nicknamed this thing a couple of things, like I put in a comment. Captain, it makes everything look good. Just a very nice lens. Just gives a nice color, nice detail. The other thing is, I jokingly called Mr. Turns Night today, and in the evening with an f1.4. Really, really makes the most of any dark setting. It really brings out the performance of this camera. One of the other things I noticed that a couple of reviews, professional and personal, said that they dinged it for not having optical image stabilization. But I do have to say, the Nikons I mentioned earlier, the Nikon compatible ones I mentioned earlier, neither of them have image stabilization. I went and double checked. I also have a link to it in my blog post that I'll post below. But at $15.99, the Nikon did not have image stabilization at $969. The aftermarket one did not have image stabilization. Not really a ding for me. And to be honest with f1.4, I have not had a single issue with handshake with this lens. This lens is just, you compose your shot, you focus, you take it. And a friend of mine likes to say, he's told me that when a camera gets out of the way and lets you take a picture, I have to say this camera and this lens makes for a package that kind of lets the camera get out of the way and lets you just really take a nice picture. That's about it. Hope you guys have a great evening. And I'm going to try to make a couple more tonight. I've been backed up. I'm meaning to do another one. I want to do another one on the Samsung Flash I did receive. And I also look to do a short one on the 45mm. And depending how tired I am, I'm going to look at, I bought a really nice low pro bag secondhand, and I'm going to be doing a video on that either tonight or soon. That's about it. You guys have a good night, and perhaps if you like stopping back through, be great. See you again.